Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday the 24th of January. So what we've got coming out first, news-wise today at 8:15, 8:30, we've got the French and German flash manufacturing and services data, PMI. Key numbers, they tend to give us a bit of a kicker there. Now, last time the French services PMI dropped to 49.6, the actual figure came in at 49 in the end, and the German flash services also dropped lower on the final figure there. So we've seen some negative figures, although the French number is a contraction figure. The German flash services was just a slowdown at 51.8. So anything below 50, and they're expected, the French data is expected for the manufacturing data to come in at 50. It came in at 49.7 last time. If that drops and is below 50, it'd be quite a negative impact on the euro. Likewise for the German data, if it's less than expected now, it's people are watching those trend lines that I drew on the big picture video I did actually 2 weeks ago. I showed the production data, and it is really dropping down for these guys, so that may be a key mover this morning. If that wasn't bad enough, we've then got at 12.45 for the euro, we've got the main refinancing rate, the interest rate decision, and of course comments, a statement coming through with that, and then at 1:30 we've got Draghi speaking. So big day for the euro ahead. Right, okay, so what's it shaping out at the moment? Well, it's looking a little dipping back down, still looks a bit soft overall. It's had a bit of a bounce off this trend line that was sort of set there, but it looks like it may even want to go back and test that at the moment. Bear flag sort of territory yesterday, pitching up, didn't even quite get back to its weekly pivot, which is a bit disappointing. Would like to have seen it push into the weekly pivot, because I was waiting to short it into the weekly pivot, but there we are. It finally rolled over, and it's barely moving in real solid numbers. These movements are quite small overall. I mean, yesterday it managed a hold of 40 odd pips, so it's not moving big at all. Consolidated is probably the phrase even. So where to? At the moment it's but a lower high, and this time frame looks bearish if anything, so we may see it roll on over. We'll just see what comes post 8 o'clock. If those numbers come in reasonable, it could shape things up back into towards that weekly pivot. So it's really data dependent. And then of course we've got Draghi speaking later, so a bit of an awkward one there maybe. The pound, well, the pound's been pushing up. There's apparently a group of MPs that are trying to get together to force through a vote on blocking any no deal, and extending the Article 50. Now that's possibly seen as positive news for the pound, and it's certainly got a kicker yesterday with the data coming through there. Whatever happens if that fails and doesn't get through, well, it depends if they manage to get it through. If it gets past, I think the pound could push higher, even higher. It's almost an expectation that there'll be either an extension or a deal at the moment, and that's really getting pushed into this pound. Looking at where we are at the moment from the shorter time frame here, could just roll back towards that daily pivot. We missed it yesterday on those 20% days, 25% days, and well, whether we'll see how it shapes up this morning. Pretty close to it, back into its 21 at the moment. If it can break and close below this, well, the daily pivot will be a key point. We've seen some divergence across the highs here. It may roll through this then. It really depends if it does get to the pivot, what it does. If it starts rolling through, could be back towards the 50 and S1 area. So that's where the picture would look if it does that. Now if it bounces off this area, well, look for a push back up for a triple top, mate. Well, I'd say triple top, triple divergence possibly, but although the RSI is working right away off here, so it won't be a divergence, but it may go back up towards the R1, the highs or the R1. Okay, Dollar yen. We just need to wait to see how some of these show their hands here this morning. Dollar yen, well, it pitched up yesterday, ended up a bit of a shooting star, and there's a bit of divergence across the dailies there as it does so, although not a tradable divergence. Never pushed up, it's never extremed or pushed high enough, but it does look questionable, although at the moment the 4 hourly point of view it's looking like it's pitching back up, so choppy, and choppy was certainly what it did yesterday. Up and down like a yo-yo, pitched into its R2 pivot there, then all the way back down towards its pivot there, pitching up at the moment. Maybe got a chance back up to the R1. Just need to watch how that sorts itself out this morning, but not the clearest, as it's going pretty in a sideward sort of price action at the moment. Aussie dollar. Aussie, well, its data overnight wasn't particularly great. Looks like they're going to put mortgage rates up, which may slow the economy a little bit. It's probably seen. It looked like a little bullish harami the previous day there, but there's, already with that data coming through, we've seen it selling off and looking pretty poor for itself at the moment, all the way down. I mean, it's done more than it's done for the last 2 days. It's a huge engulfing bar there, so quite a bearish sort of signal at the moment. It may get a short-term bounce here, a dead cat bounce almost, as we refer to them, where they sort of bounce back up for a bit, but it may that in itself may give opportunities to sell into, but at the moment it looks weak. Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar, well, it's continuing in that sort of shove slowly up here at the moment. It's notice the three sort of well, say the two I'm looking at here really, the Aussie dollar and the Canadian dollar, or the New Zealand dollar. If I flick on that briefly, saying, well, actually it pitched up yesterday, it pushed up a little bit better. It's not looking quite so bad, but certainly the Aussie dollar and the Canadian dollar, commodity currencies, effectively both soft at the moment. And well, what's it doing here? Well, chopping sideways really is the answer to that one. You can see it on here. It's it pitched up high yesterday. Well, it could be going up towards the R1 at the moment. Just see how it goes post 8 o'clock, but it looks like it's running back towards the yesterday's highs in the R1, short term at least. Okay, that's pretty much it for me on there. As I say, key news today is all about the euro. So I'll speak to you tomorrow. Take care. Bye for now.